Everyone, welcome to the show. So, I'd shared about a month ago that Canadians were very rightfully canceling their travel plans to the US. And I got a ton of comments from Canadians, which I appreciate. I thank you all. Sane Americans completely understand. We stand with you. And I have some new details to share about this issue and how the US is not just being boycotted by travelers. So around the world, countries are now boycotting our products. And now numerous countries have issued travel advisories, actually warning their residents, do not travel to the US. So here's what all's going down and why this is a really bad sign. Earlier this month, it was reported that Canadian leisure travel to the US is down 40%, or it was down 40% in the month of February. So that is year over year, it dropped by 40%. And the report says that in 2024, Canadians spent more than $20 billion on trips to the US. So this is no small thing. And it's not just Canada. According to the Washington Post, Europeans and the Chinese are now changing their travel plans. And the group called Tourism Economics estimates that the US travel industry is going to lose about $64 billion this year. They estimate that there's going to be a 5% drop in travel to the US in 2025, which honestly, it sounded really small to me, but that is a huge change from their previous estimate because they had previously been saying there's going to be a 9% increase in foreign travel. So that's a 15% shift, a swing in the wrong direction. And the Washington Post pointed out that the hospitality and leisure industry, they're already suffering as a result of this. So take a look at this chart. This is how things have changed. And there's a drop off that you can see in the first 2 months of this year. So, for those on the podcast, I'm sharing a chart. This is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. For the past 2 months and 1 month, or excuse me, for the last 2 years and 1 month, it shows there is a not insignificant amount of job loss. And this is among people working in the leisure and hospitality industry. In January and February of this year, it fell off hard. So, of course, part of this has to do with Trump's threats against various countries, and it also has to do with the tariffs that he's imposing. But here's the thing, this is the really dangerous part. It also has to do with Donald Trump's Gestapo snatching up tourists and throwing them in immigration detention facilities. And this is even though some of them were here, or all of them, I should say, were here legally. They had done nothing wrong. So, for example, the Orange County Register, which is a newspaper in the Southern California area, they reported, quote, Lennon Tyler and her German fiance often took road trips to Mexico when he vacationed in the United States, since it was only a day's drive from her home in Las Vegas, one of the perks of their long distance relationship. But things went terribly wrong when they drove back from Tijuana last month. U.S. border agents handcuffed Tyler, a U.S. citizen, and chained her to a bench while her fiancé, Lucas Siloff, was accused of violating the rules of his 90-day U.S. tourist permit, the couple said. Authorities later handcuffed and shackled Siloff and sent him to a crowded U.S. immigration detention center. He spent 16 days locked up before being allowed to fly home to Germany. And the Guardian news outlet reported the story of another German tourist. This was a woman named Jessica Brosch, I believe. She was detained also at the Mexican border in San Diego, California, and she was held for 6 weeks for no reason. They also held her in solitary confinement for 9 days. So this Brosch woman was in the U.S. She was visiting her best friend. She's done this before. They traveled to Tijuana, went down to Mexico as part of her trip. And then when they tried to cross back into the US, Trump's Gestapo took her into custody and refused to release her, even though she showed them that she had a German passport. She had confirmation of her visa waiver to enter the US, and she had a copy of her return plane ticket back to Berlin. Clearly, she was not trying to stay in the US illegally. And then there's also the case of a Canadian woman. She's a former actress, or maybe she still is an actress. Anyway, her name is Jasmine Mooney. She was held for almost 2 weeks after she tried to enter the country at the San Ysidro, California border facility. So Mooney was coming to the US. She's done this before. She was coming to do a job. She was going to work for a while for a health and wellness company. So US Border Patrol arrests her. They put her in shackles and they send her to a detention facility. And she said she was forced to take a pregnancy test, all because of a mix up with her visa application. And these are just a few of the nightmare stories. This is what this sociopathic regime is doing to human beings with our tax dollars. People who pose zero threat to our country. So Germany and the UK were the first ones. They issued US travel advisories to their residents. And then as of Saturday of this past weekend, Canada, Finland, and Denmark, they have also ordered their own travel advisories. They're also now warning their residents, you travel to the US at your own risk. It could result in your arrest. So I'm sure this is just going to be great for our already flailing economy, thanks to Donald Trump. Yeah. Hashtag winning in all caps. Are we winning yet? So much winning. I'm tired of winning. This is incompetence coupled with cruelty. This is what you get. Anyway, I will let you all know if I hear any more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it with everyone so they understand what is going on, how this is just insane and out of control. Become a subscriber if you have not. If you can donate, really appreciate it. Links are below in the description box on YouTube and on the podcast. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.